Welcome back to Saving the Republic with Joe Staten, presented by Grab Your Gear Network, where we speak to people who, guess what, get up and work hard every single day. So trades workers and merit shop workers, this network and this show is for you. We are live Monday, Wednesday, Friday with the news stories that impact you the most, but that the mainstream news is not talking about. So if you want to learn what actually is going to impact your life, make sure you follow us here. We try to bring you at least one story to lead the show every day that specifically impacts the lives of trades workers and merit shop workers. You are our audience. You are our demographic. So if that's you, make sure you tune in. Before we get into today's news, make sure you check out all of our content on our channels. We have a docu-series coming out right now called The Union Hustle. Part 4 comes out very soon. Make sure you check it out on our YouTube channel at Grab Your Gear. Clips are cut up on TikTok and Instagram, again, at Grab Your Gear. We also have a weekly podcast once a week. Check it out with Jack Windsor and Joe Weasel, again, on Grab Your Gear socials. Now, today's episode, I could not talk about the interview, and this is the lead story. Kamala Harris finally did an interview with a network that basically is not in her back pocket, right? So Kamala agreed to do an interview with Bret Baier and Fox News, which is the first opposition, adversarial, whatever you want to call it, interview she's done the entire election cycle, which to me, you know, with you as a voter, we have 20 days to the election. And we're going to get into a little bit of the election statistics later on, the latest odds, what's going on in the race. But to you as a voter, please tell me if you disagree, but this to me screams entitlement. The fact that she feels that she does not owe you, the voter, an interview until 20 days out from the election, the fact that she feels entitled to coast her way to the presidency without doing any hard interviews. We see Donald Trump every single day on the election trail, going to rallies, doing interviews, doing press conferences, doing town halls, taking questions from those who he may agree with, may not agree with, right? He just did an entire interview live with the editor-in-chief at Bloomberg, which clearly is not a Trump fan. If you guys missed that, go check it out. It's something that you do not want to miss. But nonetheless, Trump is doing adversarial interviews, and Kamala Harris feels entitled just to go to the presidency. And so I'm going to show you guys some clips here from the interview, one or two of the most impactful clips. But I'm just going to play this one here, and we're going to comment on it. So this is the first clip from Bret Baier's interview of Kamala Harris.
Exhausted of Bret.
More than 70% of people,
frankly, exhausted of Bret.
More than 70% of people tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade, people have become. But listen, over the last decade, it is clear to me, and certainly the Republicans who are on stage with me.
You know, this clip here just shows really just the simple-mindedness and the naivety that Kamala and her campaign assumes that you have as the voter, that they can just pull the wool over your eyes, that 80% of the country who says we're on the wrong track is not going to associate that wrong track with her own administration that has been doing this for 4 years. And she just says, Bret, you know what I'm talking about. Donald Trump has been running for 10 years. No, we're not turning the page on Donald Trump running. We're turning the page on your administration that has left a horrible mark on tons of Americans' bank accounts, on tons of Americans' mental and emotional health, on tons of Americans' ability to buy a home. We know the story. The border, safety. We know the story. World War III. And so, number one, my takeaway is this. You have the entitlement, but you also have the weakness of the candidate. And this is where I'm going to show you guys the statistics. Okay, this is very stark. This is very, very stark. Polymarket has the latest presidential odds at 58%. Okay, 58 to 41 for Donald Trump. This is remarkable, guys. Remarkable. Check this out. 20 days away from the election. Donald Trump is favored to win Michigan 56-44, 55 in Wisconsin, almost 60-40 in Pennsylvania. This is unheard of. And now, I'm not saying this to say anything in the realm of it's a guarantee that he's got it in the bag. Absolutely not. We all know too well. We know better than to think that way based on prior results. But I do want to say this. The fact that Donald Trump is leading this high in the polls and also the odds tells you this election compared to 2020 and 2016, there is clear support for Donald Trump, clear support from the public. And something I've noticed too, so you guys can let me know in the comments below if you've noticed this as well, but there's a phenomenon right now where many celebrities have come out in support of Trump. Trump is going on this massive round robin of sorts of interviews on these, culturally popular podcasts, right? You had Flagrant. He went on Bussin' with the Boys. I think Sean Baker is his name. Theo Vaughn. He's doing all these podcasts that are culturally popular, and the culture is starting to embrace Donald Trump. All right? We're seeing this all over the place. Everywhere you look. Elon Musk, Tulsi Gabbard, RFK, even Antonio Brown, the former wide receiver. People are embracing Donald Trump, and it's not as dangerous, as sad as it is to say that, to support Trump publicly. And so this is really interesting because in my opinion, again, let me know if you disagree down below, please, but this election is building up to the point where if Donald Trump loses, it will be shocking. If Donald Trump loses this election with these numbers, with him leading 65-35 in Georgia, 64 in North Carolina. I mean, they're swing states, guys. He's 70-30 in Arizona. I mean, Arizona was a blue state in 2020. Nevada, he's leading. This is unheard of, all right? And it's like a direct correlation. Every time we see Kamala doing interviews, her numbers go down, okay? She is one of the least popular candidates in the history of the country. In the history of the country. But that clip there from Bret Baier saying, I don't know what you're talking about, was pretty hilarious. So here's another clip I want to show you guys. Make sure check this one out right here, and we're going to talk about it.
Democracy. Talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy. And in a democracy, the President of the United States, in the United States of America, should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it.
So Kamala Harris wants to lock people up for posting misinformation online. So I'm not really sure how she's sitting with a straight face saying this. It's just total projection. It's the classic good old playbook. It's the good old saying, right? Projection. You say, you accuse of what you're doing yourself. You are literally going after Donald Trump to put him in prison. You're literally saying misinformation should be clamped down. Hate speech should be clamped down. Donald Trump did not say anything about locking up the American people. He's talking about dangerous people who are rioting and threatening others with violence, all right? It's a very clear and obvious distinction. Okay, so this is not a serious candidate, guys. It's just not a serious candidate, and it is the entitlement. It is the entitlement that comes from this person that I'm very surprised she's even the candidate, all right? This was their concern. This was the Democrats' concern. And, we like to keep it short and sweet in the show. If I have guests on, which we were supposed to have a guest on tonight, Mark Rogers, so stay tuned for that. We're going to get it scheduled. We've been having some scheduling difficulties, but stay tuned for that. We like to keep it short and sweet in the show. Straight to the point, all right? The point is this. Kamala Harris does not believe she has to earn your vote. She believes she deserves your vote. She is embracing the uniparty. She's embracing the neocons. And the way this is impacting you, because we like to bring it home, all right? Trades workers, merit shop workers, this person, the way that it will impact your life if she's elected comes down to this. Less safe communities, less safe environments for your children at school, less safe education for your children at school, taxpayer-funded transgender surgeries, which she said in this interview she was supportive of, essentially, higher taxes, less respect for our country and its culture and identity. These are direct impacts on your way of life. Direct attacks, less freedom of speech, less freedom in general, less respect for your liberty as a person. Huge impacts, huge effects to your life. And it's because it's the classic trope of projection. All right. This is what's happening here. So her first interview, somewhat serious interview. We're going to have more commentary in the days to come. But the odds and everything is showing a clear path for Donald Trump to win this presidency. But again, as we hammer home, we're 20 days away. I want you guys to take this home to the bank. Think about it, pray about it, sleep about it, meditate on it, tell your friends about it. You need to go vote. We all need to vote. All right? It's critical. It is critical. This is going to be a very close election. Very close election. And before I'm done here, actually, I want to see if I can pull up the Economist presidential model, because this is another model that predicts the presidency. And just to show you guys how close this election could be, I want you to keep this in mind when you're thinking about voting. All right, right here. It's no give. It's not a guarantee, guys. It's not a guarantee. Donald Trump wins 46 times in 100. Kamala Harris wins 54 in 100 times. All right, so it's right there for you to see. It's very possible for it to happen. Don't take it for granted. Get out and vote. And when it's all said and done, come November 5th, hopefully we can all look at a Trump presidency and be happy. But what a disaster tonight, right? What I'm going to call it Kamala's collapse. That's probably going to be the title of this video, of this show, Kamala's collapse. But stay tuned for commentary in the days to come on Grab Your Gear about this interview, about this election. Follow for all your election news. If you're a merit shop worker or trades worker, you want to subscribe to this channel, all right? You want to subscribe. You want to hear our content, our weekly long-form podcast with Joe Weasel and Jack Windsor. You want to see our new documentary, all right? A docuseries. Part 4 is coming out, I believe tomorrow or tonight even. The union hustle. We expose the fraud in America's unions, all right? You want to learn this stuff, guys. It's critical for your understanding. So make sure you subscribe to Grab Your Gear. Again, I'm Joe Staten with Saving the Republic. We're live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, bringing you guys the most impactful news stories to your lives that the mainstream is probably not talking about. We are so grateful for your support and for your viewership if you made it this far. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you all in the next show. Take care.